Barbados, get up.
Good morning Barbados, good morning to you. Good morning, 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 morning. Good morning to you. Good morning Barbados, good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning Barbados, good morning.
Wake up, wake up, wake up.
Morning to you.
Indeed, morning to you today, everyone. Welcome to Wednesday. It is Wednesday, the 12th of March, 2025. Time is ticking by so swiftly, but a very good morning to all of you everywhere. Thank you for waking up to keep us company. I'm Pearson Bowen, welcoming all of you on our YouTube, Facebook, and our website streams. Thank you so much for joining us. Wherever in the world you are, thank you for making Morning Barbados a priority in the morning. And remember, as I always say to you, share the show. Don't keep it to yourself. Share the show. And if you have an idea or someone who you'd like to share with us, share it too by email. You just saw it on your screen. morninbarbados@cbc.bb. morninbarbados@cbc.bb. And thank you for being partners with us here every single morning. Now, we got the news yesterday of the death of Jack Bovell. And for those of you who may not be aware, for a long time, particularly with me sitting in the chair, we would have featured many of our young footballers because opportunities Jack provided them to not just complete their studies internationally, but he mentored them in very real and rich ways. And so it shook all of us yesterday when we got the news that Jack had died. And so to his relatives and friends and all of those who would have experienced from Jack's experience and his interests, we extend deepest condolences to you all as well. So let's remember him fondly. Let's celebrate the fact that he made a significant contribution to the young men and the young women of Barbados in education and also in the sport of football. So to all of you, deepest condolences today. Also, remember, this is World Glaucoma Week, and so the activities continue for you to be able to check your vision and the pressure in your eyes, because it's one of those problems that creep up on you and you just don't know until you realize your vision is narrowing because of an accident of some sort. So to avoid all of that or to manage a lot of that better, we encourage you all week long to go out and have your eye pressure tested. And so today, I can tell you that the National Disabilities Unit Health Fair is on. That is on today from 10 until 3. And there is a lecture at 9 o'clock, by the way. A lecture at 9, then from 10 to 3, the fair. But there's screening, and that's happening in the NDU's unit in Collymore Rock. So you can get your lecture on glaucoma and the effects of glaucoma and how you can manage your glaucoma. And then you can have your eye pressure tested for absolutely free today. But there are also some other locations. Call your ophthalmologist, call your optometrist as well, and get more details and check the eye pressure. Check it. Many of us are aging, and there are many things that predispose us to this glaucoma, and so we want you to know. So get your free eye pressure checks done today, this week in particular, because it can make a tremendous difference to what you see and your life, really, at the end of the day, how you live your life, the quality of life. So do check it. Take it seriously, folks. I encourage you. Now, coming up today, we have a riddle of the day. I'll share that riddle with you in just a moment. But I also want to remind you that this morning on the show is Wellness Wednesday. And in just a little bit, we'll be taking a look at bullying and its psychological effects, particularly on the bully and the victims of bullying, and how we can help each other really manage this whole idea of bullying when one thinks themselves a predator, and how can we avoid it happening indeed. So we're looking forward to talking to Dr. Joy Sue on that in just a little while. And how do you create a better workplace for all? It's a subject that engages the minds of those in human resource management. And so when we talk HR this morning with Hermab, we want to hear about that. What are the solutions? What are the ways that we can actually make a difference and create a more comfortable, really literally a better workplace for all? We spend the majority of our day in the workplace. So how can we create a more better, that's such bad English. How can we create a better workplace for all, indeed? And how do you feel about the stress and the pain caused by stress, and what are you doing about it? Our master therapist, Steve Andrew, will join us in just a little while too to talk to you more about the benefit of massage therapy. and all that he has to offer at Bamboo Retreat as well. So there is a salve for all of your painful, stressful moments. It's a month of disabled, and so there are a group of students who have traveled to Barbados to experience what we do here and also to give community service. We will interact with them in just a little while to hear their experience and their story and what they're benefiting from us while they're here. Our stylist expert in Miss McKay, that's right, Monique McKay will join us as she helps us to lighten our spaces, so we lighten our minds and we become rejuvenated in many, many different ways as well. So I can't wait to have that moment with her. And as promised, today I do promise you we will share with you the story of the conjoined twins who have been separated successfully and they're living wonderful lives, but it's quite a story and we can't wait to share that with you in just a little while as well. Are we ready for today's riddle? Are we ready for today's riddle? Yes, we are. What is today's riddle? Take a look at your screen. Why should a fisherman always be wealthy? They always give me these little words. I know that my eyesight is not as rich at my old age. So why should a fisherman always be wealthy? Do you think you have an answer for that one? Why should a fisherman always be wealthy? Come on, think. Put on your thinking caps right now and show me you're working. I need to know you're working, by the way. Why should a fisherman always be wealthy? I think that is such a simple question. Simple riddle. There's always a something in a riddle here, so look for it. Think of it. Sometimes it's on the surface, sometimes it's not on the surface. So think about it. Why should a fisherman always be wealthy? Talk to me now, 228-5562 or 228-5563. Why should a fisherman always be wealthy? Think about it. Give me a call. And as you're thinking about it to give me a call, just want to remind you there's some road works going on about, and it's going to affect your commute today, and so plan your routes accordingly. If you don't know what, just check the GIS social media pages to see where it's happening. I can tell you for sure we're happening just there from the junction of Dighton Griffith School down to the Coyman roundabout, the roundabout Coyman. Yeah, you will have to divert. I had to divert. You too will have to divert. Just remember the roadworks continue there from Top Rock to the Arrowbar roundabout, that stretch up the hill. You will have to be cautious on that area as well. And there's roadwork happening here down the hill from the SJPI roundabout downhill to the BT. You will have to be mindful of that as well. So roadworks are happening about be acquainted. But I'm waiting to hear from you folks. Why should a fisherman always be wealthy? Why? Why do you think that is? Why should a fisherman always be wealthy? Come on, think about it. Give me a call. 228-5562 or 228-5563. Just a bit of a programming note. The debate from the House of Assembly continues this morning from 9 as the Leader of the Opposition continues his reply to the debate, and then debate takes on from there. So think about it and give me a call. I can't wait to hear from you, so don't dilly-dally. Why should a fisherman always be wealthy? Now, let's turn our attention while I wait on your call to the whole subject of bullying and those psychological effects. Dr. Joyce, who is a consultant psychiatrist with the psychiatric hospital, and so she joins us now to delve deeper into this. Dr. Sue, good morning to you.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
No, thank you for joining us. Really, the thanks is ours to you, because it's a very important subject, and we see it happening oftentimes. But sometimes people don't know that they're being bullied, or they accept it to be the norm. Is that what you see sometimes in your practice?
Yes, actually, it's very common for persons who are victims of bullying to blame themselves, actually. So they don't know that it's a problem with the bully and not them. They're thinking that it's something about themselves that's causing them to be victimized. So yes, a lot of people accept it, and I find that recently it's almost as if it's becoming something that is ingrained in our culture, because I'm seeing a lot of persons coming to me now who are complaining of it. And bullying on a whole is pretty common worldwide, not just here. But it gets to be a point where if you allow it to go unchecked, then it becomes to be something that, as I said, becomes ingrained in the culture then.
So help us define what bullying is, since some people see themselves out of whack and they don't quite understand what it is. What is bullying?
All right, so bullying is when you have unwanted, hostile acts from one person to another that is designed to cause the person hurt, harm, or cause the person distress. And it can include a number of different things. It can include intimidation or threats. It can be physical violence or sexual harassment. It can include things that people don't know that includes like spreading rumors or slander in order to harm a person's reputation or telling lies on a person. That can also be bullying. So it can be verbal abuse. And then you have workplace bullying. And workplace bullying can be quite nuanced. It can be things like using a person's schedule to bully them. So you don't like this person or you're bullying this person, you're going to give them a roster that looks almost impossible. You might ask the person to do unreasonable tasks and then don't give the person resources to do the task, whereas you're giving other persons around them adequate resources. So those things can be bullying as well.
What is the psyche of the bully?
No, this is a very interesting question because a lot of focus goes on the victims of bullying, but we don't often explore a lot into what's going on with the bullying, and there are reasons for that as well. But a lot of persons who bully, they may feel out of control themselves. In fact, they're usually victims of bullying in the past or some kind of trauma or stress that's going on in some other environment. So if it's a child, for instance, it might be a child in a home who's witnessing bullying themselves. So one parent or one adult in the household is bullying another person in the household. So this child knows this becomes a learned behavior on their part and model the behavior because that experience is teaching them that bullying is the way to get what you want. And they may not know any alternative way of getting what they want or expressing themselves. So sometimes it can be learned behavior. Sometimes because bullies feel so out of control in one environment, they feel they need to control another environment. And so bullying is a way of them having a sense of control when they feel powerless. Still, there are others who may lack empathy. So they don't realize that the behavior is a problem at all. They don't recognize the effect that it's having on other persons. And so those persons may also have what we call narcissistic traits, where they really don't acknowledge the feelings of others because it's all about them. So it can be many and varied reasons. Bullies also they may find that they have deep insecurity about themselves. They might also be jealous of the persons that they're bullying. So the person may have either a physical thing that they're jealous of that person having, or it may be a personal attribute that the person has that they are jealous of. But bullies can also be doing it because they realize that they're going to get some kind of gain out of it. So if I realize that I bully you and it makes me more popular with my classmates, I'm going to bully more because sometimes that happens, people are conducting these bullying activities and people are cheering them on. So they realize, hey, bullying is getting me popular, so they keep doing it. If you're in a workplace, persons in a workplace may bully because they realize when I bully my subordinates, there's less chance of my policies or the rules that I'm trying to enforce being questioned. So you intimidate persons so much that they don't want to question the things that they're being told to do anymore. Or sometimes it's a deflection too. So you might be the supervisor or the boss, but you may feel as if you're not as confident in the work. So you might be incompetent then in your work. You don't know your work as well. And so the bullying is then something to distract persons from the fact that you're really incompetent. Or you may just feel that because you are the boss and that's your status, that you have a right to bully. So as I said, the reasons for bullying can be many and varied. But as I said, the most important one I want you to remember is that a lot of bullies themselves have been victims at some point of some kind of trauma, or they're going through some kind of stress as well.
Sometimes, I'm going to use the workplace example you just used, where the supervisor or the boss is the one who's administering the bullying. Can it be in the reverse as well?
Yes, actually, I do know of some instances. Now, bullying really happens in a situation where there's an imbalance of power.
Correct.
So it's not always a boss that has the power. There might be an employee or a subordinate who has more power for something, because power may not be only within the workplace. They may have power because of affiliations they have outside of the workplace. And so that person can become a bully as well, even though they're not the highest person in the pecking order, so to speak, within the workplace. So yes, it can happen the other way around, and I've seen it happen.
Is bullying as obvious to the eye as one would hope it can be? We can see the physical slap, those kinds of things where you're using your physical strength to be superseding someone. But there are other forms of bullying, as you mentioned, and is it as obvious to the naked eye as one could imagine?
No, it's not always obvious. As you said, if it's a physical or violent acts that are occurring, that one is obvious. But when you have things like psychological abuse or verbal abuse, that can be more nuanced. As I said, if you're looking at workplace abuse, and I said it's things like scheduling, that's more nuanced because it can be hard to prove. It can be harder to prove or to justify than that is constitutes bullying. So it can be a lot more nuanced, and sometimes it's harder to recognize or harder to make your case that it's bullying.
And do you now look then at the victim in a scenario like that, the person who claims they're being victimized and really truly they're not? And let's talk about the psychology of the one who presents to be the victim now.
Okay, so persons who are victims of bullying, you can imagine that if you're having repeated acts of bullying, you start to become quite afraid. You start to feel really lonely and isolated. And in fact, they tend to isolate themselves too because they develop a lot of trust issues because you're wondering when and where this bullying is going to come again. You start to feel hopeless, as if there's no way out or there's no one to help you. And then you start to develop problems if you're sleeping. You start to get very anxious. Your appetite may be changed. So a number of problems happen. In the long run, persons can develop depression or anxiety, or persons can start to have suicidal thoughts, and persons can even start to have homicidal thoughts as well. In fact, some of the shootings that have occurred over time, the mass shootings, have been attributed to the person who did the shootings being a victim of bullying in the past. So persons start to get angry outbursts as a result. Their mood changes. So they might become weepy and depressed, or they might start to get anger and aggression and angry outbursts, and then it goes to this extreme of action where the person commits a homicidal act. And the sad thing about that is that sometimes when they commit that homicidal act, it's not even directed towards the persons who are doing the bullying. It just comes out in the wrong way at some point. So that can be dangerous as well.
That suggests to my mind that there are challenges in coping when you feel yourself the victim. And so how do we stem that from happening where they reach to a dangerous conclusion and hope to turn that tide around so we can bring solution to the situation?
So correct, a lot of persons do have trouble with coping. And what I hear a lot is persons are experiencing bullying, but they don't report it. So for a long time, they keep it to themselves because, as I said, remember, there's a lot of self-blame going on. They think that it's their fault. Or the other thing is that there's so much intimidation that they're so afraid that they don't want to report it because maybe the person has directly threatened them and said, if you report this, I will do X, Y, Z. So a lot of persons then have a lot of difficulty coping. But what they do need to do is to try to report it. Either find somebody that they trust who's in authority and try to report it. But sometimes that doesn't even work either. But I will get to that. But then the other thing that they can do, if you feel safe enough to do so, what I would advise is, say if it's a workplace, you can get your HR manager, if that's someone that you trust, get a third party involved, and you can try to sit down and confront your bully, then call them out on their behavior. Call them out on their behavior in an environment that's safe. You, I say, get a third party, or maybe if it's a group discussion, call them out on their behavior and let them know why their behavior is unacceptable and the effect that it's having on you. And also persons, like for children or for adults that I see, sometimes I will go through with them something called assertiveness training. So we'll do some role play, and I will give them a chance to act out how they would assert themselves if that they're in a situation like that. Some people might want to get their children some self-defense classes if it's a violent acts that are being committed against them so that they can defend themselves. But also, if it's really severe violent acts, I think that you should be reporting it to the police as well. I think in schools, sometimes they're reluctant to report these incidents to the police, but sometimes the police need to be involved because some of these acts are criminal acts. So it's not just a matter of, well, we're just doing some light, but no, sometimes these acts are criminal and severely violent, and reporting it to police can curtail some of these things because you have to show the person who's committing the acts also that there's consequences. Because that's the other thing. If, as I said, if you don't call them out and they don't see consequences, the behavior is going to escalate, it's going to continue, it's going to get ingrained in the culture.
So that impetus that I should have to make that report requires of me to have trust in the authority figure, be it the teacher, the parent, or the external institutions. So when that breaks down, I can see the danger right away. But when I don't have the trust in the authority figure, what do you see to be then the role of the parent, the teacher, the authorities in managing someone who presents and says, I feel as though I'm a victim to someone trying to abuse me or unfair me?
Right. So that's what I was saying. If you are a person who's experiencing bullying and you report it and nothing is done, that is going to contribute more to the sense of the hopelessness, and that will increase the risk for the person completing suicide or committing a homicidal act, actually, because now they feel like they have nowhere to turn. So it's your responsibility to take these incidents seriously, to investigate them. And it's also responsibility for you to provide a safe environment, whether it's for a child or employee in your workplace. And I would think that workplaces would find that it's in their best interest to do so, because one of the other effects of bullying is that person's calling sick a lot. So there's a lot of absenteeism. Our person simply resign. They quit the job, they move to somewhere else because they can't deal with that environment. And that's not only effect that occurs with the person who's the victim, but bystanders are as well are affected by bullying.
Yes.
And when it occurs in the workplace, the morale is low, the productivity is low, and what we call turnover intentions, are people saying they're going to leave or people actually leaving, is high. So it affects your business, and you may also get lawsuits as a result of it. You get serious legal allegations as a result of it. I mean, why go through that when you can simply have a policy? And a lot of places do have policies against bullying and sexual harassment, but the problem is not with having that piece of paper, is that they don't enforce it. So the problem is that you need to enforce it consistently. As I say, take these things seriously, investigate them, and have an appropriate punishment for the person when they're doing it. And for schools, as I say, if this bullying is severe, the police need to be called in. I think a lot of schools worry about reputation sometimes, and so they don't want to call in the police, or they wait until it's late to do that. But you got to call in the police if this behavior is severe, because mostly what is happening is that suspensions occur. But I understand the school's position too, because remember what I said to you, a lot of times persons don't report the bullying. So sometimes within schools, persons know who the bullies are, but they really can't do anything about it because you don't have a complainant. And this happens with adults too in the workplaces. You know who the bullies are, you know this person is a bully, but nobody is willing to put pen to paper to make an actual complaint. What I would suggest though, sometimes there is safety in numbers, or at least it feels like there's more safety in numbers anyways. So you can get together for a group of persons who've experienced this, because if they're bullying one person, it's not usually just one person, it might be a group of people. Get together in your group and make a group complaint if you feel safer doing it that way. And then something you can do to protect yourself too is you can record. Take a record of the incidents that have been occurring. Detail it. If it's something that's happening, I talked about cyberbullying last week. If it's something that's happening in cyberbullying, take a screenshot, download it, print it, so that you have a record or evidence of what has been happening, and then you have something to go with your report. What happens way too many times that upsets me is that when these reports are made, the person who is responsible may be punished, but then the victim who has made the report becomes kind of like a pariah or outcast. Mm-hmm. Nobody wants to touch that person then, because they're saying, oh, if I have that person in my workplace, I might get a complaint. You will only get a complaint if you're doing the wrong thing. Mm-hmm. And I think people don't understand that, and then they further victimize that person who's already been through so much. It's utterly ridiculous.
Well said, Dr. Sue. I couldn't say better. They're utterly ridiculous. And so, as we attend to people who are feeling bullied, they struggle to try to cope with it. They try to deny that it's happening, or they're too ashamed, as you've said, that this is happening to me. I don't want anyone else to know because they might laugh at me. But they want coping mechanisms. They want to be able to find a way to still carry on before that point of despair really hits in. I have to do something about it. How from where you sit, can you help those people abide, basically, just hang in there while we work on a solution?
Well, usually if it's severe enough, I will tell you, I'm not ashamed to say it, I will give that person time off work if it's a workplace situation, for instance. Or if it's a school, I might write to the school. The person might need to have some time and space away from that situation so that they can build up their resilience to it. So work on their coping mechanisms for it. And there are different ways that you can cope with that situation. As I said, the first one is to remove yourself from it for a bit of a time. And then you can work on things for your self-care or relaxation as well to help relieve the stress. So I teach people breathwork exercises, but there are things you can do, meditation. I heard you say you have somebody on talking about massage therapy, because when you're being bullied and you're stressed, so you have a lot of tension that you're carrying in your muscles as well. Things like that can help to relieve the physical kind of symptoms that you get as a result of it. So that anxious feelings that you get and the headaches, stomach aches, and so on that come along with being stressed. So you can work on those physical symptoms. But then, as I said, I also work on persons to help with their assertiveness so that they can feel empowered to speak up about the bullying or speak out against the bullies, call them out on their behavior, which I think is very important.
Very important indeed. So much so that you're having a free health fair coming up?
Yes, I'm having a free health fair on April 5th in Golden Square Freedom Park in Bridgetown, and the theme of that health fair is actually empowering communities and preventing suicide. So it's all about empowerment. Going to have a number of persons exhibiting to show the resources that their organizations offer to help to empower persons. And then I'm going to be having some fun activities as well, because as I said, coping also requires doing activities to help you to relax. So I'm going to be having something for the kids where we have jumping tent, we have a tie-dye station, we have face painting, we have a bubble blower going on, we have a lucky dip. And then for the adults, we're going to have a yoga session and meditation. We're going to have line dancing. We're going to have some sweet steel pan music playing. We're going to have some poetry recitals. So it's going to be a lot. We have DJ and karaoke, and then we have a treasure hunt at the end of it. And we have a big grand prize. I'm proud to say that Wyndham Grand has sponsored us with a 2-night staycation for two to provide for our grand prize. But we have lots of other lovely prizes from sponsors, like buffet lunch for two from Atlantis Historic End. So we have a whole lot of vouchers for Nichols, Duty Free Barbados. So quite a number of sponsors have come on board. I'm happy to see the level of support that we're getting for these type of activities.
That's fantastic. It's on the 5th of April. Golden Square.
April 5th.
5th. Golden Square Freedom Park is an all-day activity, I suppose?
11 o'clock to 5 p.m. 11 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Okay. 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. So like the whole day, so we really want as many of you as possible to come on down. And don't say it, and don't say it to be one of those things that are for those who need help. It's for all of us, because sometimes we don't even recognize.
Everybody.
Yeah, we don't recognize our role, one, and we don't recognize when it's happening literally under our nose. And so we want everyone to come down to Golden Square Freedom Park on the 5th of April from just about 10 o'clock. Come early and settle down, because there's something happening all day long until 5, and activities for the adult and for the child as well. All the family, basically. It's for every member of the family to be there, and that's good. Well done. Dr. Sue, thank you. We got you to smile, which is a good thing. Thank you so much, as always, for being there for us on Mornin Barbados.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Dr. Joyce Sue, consultant psychiatrist with the Psychiatric Hospital, and certainly talking a little bit more about bullying, the effects thereof, the psychology of the bully and the victim, and ways in which we can help. We truly can help from the workplace and from the family setting as well. But don't forget, the event is on April the 5th in Golden Square Freedom Park in town, and it's for everyone, and it's absolutely free. We're taking a break here, but we're coming back to hear from you, your answer to our riddle this morning, and much more.
Do you?
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love cruise.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. It's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
So good in a party yet. You know why?
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
God will not give you a job. God will not call you to do something and then not give you the capacity to have it, to make it happen. He will give you the resources. He'll give you the people. Not only will He equip you with ideas, but He will equip you with favor, as He did Nehemiah.
Turn on the latest episode of Infinite Possibilities, only on CBC TV8, every Sunday at 1:30 p.m., sponsored by Covenant Life Teaching Center.
An hour of inspiration, celebration, soulful praise, and uplifting messages that will refresh your soul and fill your heart with joy. Q Gospel, Sunday at 4 p.m. on Quality 100.7 FM radio, bringing you closer to the music, the message, and the ministry. It's your Sunday moment of praise and purpose where faith meets music. Q Gospel, Sunday at 4 p.m. on Q 100.7 FM.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We're 28 minutes now to go before the hour of 7 o'clock. Don't forget, coming up on March 21st, it's Rock Your Socks Day, World Down Syndrome Day. And so if you haven't already done so, get out and get your multicolored socks. You can mix match on the day, but keep them bright and beautiful and rich in color. And on that day, we want you to really proudly display your socks. You rock them for children of Down syndrome, Downs. And certainly on World Down Syndrome Day, if you don't already have your socks, get out and get them. I know that there are in the malls, and you can support the efforts of the Barbados Down Syndrome Association by getting your socks. If God spared my life, I am going to be wearing and rocking my socks. I'd love for you as well to join us in that initiative to rock your socks on March the 21st in support of World Down Syndrome Day and the Barbados Down Syndrome Association as well, and children of Down syndrome. They are special, and we want you to make that day equally special for children of Downs. So please, 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 please get your socks. Make them multicolored, as bright, as beautifully as possible, and mix match, or just wear the set if you want to do so. So let's get cracking. Let's start now HR with Hermab, and we want to look at the whole question of creating better workplaces for all. And to help us to be able to do so are Crystal Ann Downs, who is the marketing manager with at Heart Consulting Incorporated. Along with her is the operations lead in Tanisa Scanterbury. Ladies, good morning.
Good morning. Hi, good morning, Pearson. How are you?
I'm well, thank you for asking. How do you do?
I'm doing pretty well, thanks.
Fantastic. Tell us a little bit about your organization. It's called Heart Consulting. What's that about?
So it's actually Heart.
Right.
And so we operate under Julie Turney. She is the founder and the person behind HR at Heart. And Julie has been in the industry of HR for over 10 years. And so she is a coach for HR professionals, basically. So it, just as the name states, is, having that feeling in your heart to, of course, cater to others in a positive way and help them to improve their way of work as well as them as individuals so that they can then apply themselves and have good performance in their workplaces or their environment.
A lot of what you market on this whole thing is you are there to provide empathy, expertise, and innovative solutions, which is right up our street. We want to talk about that today. And when it comes to creating a better workplace for all, our previous interview talked about how in the workplace bullying can be arrested. And so from where you sit, help us to understand what it would take. And I'll start with you, Tanisa. What would it take to create that better workplace for all?
Thank you, Pearson. Well, the reality is that HR is really about the human element. And it's important to nurture that human element to give them the tools that they need to be able to function. Unfortunately, we understand that not everybody comes naturally equipped with the tools that's required. HR at heart is very passionate about helping people be in the workplaces in the positive ways that they need to be to show up for themselves, for their colleagues, to have that heart for their environment. It's not just about coming to work every day and just getting through your 8-hour shift, but it's also about being able to be present in that space and to give of yourself in the way that you really should, and to look out for those in your care, those that are around you, those that you work closely with. It is important to start that from early. So as Dr. Joy spoke about, getting people to that place from early on is also going to help making the workplace an easier environment for people to be able to function.
That sounds so tiresome to be able to do, because at the same time you're managing your own expectations and experiences, and here it is, you have a body of staff who are looking to you for support and guidance and someone to talk to offload on. And so creating that home, that better workplace, doesn't just end with you. It requires support from even up the chain beyond you. So how do we get the owners, the CEOs, the general managers and so on to be able to help you as HR practitioners do so to achieve what it is that you're trying to achieve?
Well, it's so important to recognize where your capacity is. I think that sometimes we want to give, but we need to understand where our limitations are as well. And if we are having the open, honest conversations about ourselves, everybody will know who's in a position to give what. And if it starts from the top, where they lead with heart, that starts to now push its way down to the bottom of the organization. It starts to set the tone and the culture around your organization's owners to be better, to provide a better environment. And yes, it's difficult, which is where HR Heart comes in, because we help people figure out the balance in being in that space. Julie is very passionate about that. She's worked with so many organizations to get them to that place, which is why, Disrupt HR was also a part of what we're doing to get that conversation going.
And so, Crystal-Ann, it sounds to me as though HR practitioners need to see their job more so than filling out papers and doing interviews and creating reports. You have to have eyes to see what's happening and a heart to feel what's happening at the same time. So talk to an HR practitioner today who would say to you, I have a lot of work at my desk to do here. I got things and reports to submit because the CEO is asking me that by 10 o'clock this morning, the report must be on the desk. But they also have a responsibility to the staff to help build that environment that fosters productivity and the like.
Yeah. And that's why, as Tanisa said, Julie's very passionate about helping those HR practitioners who are down on the ground in all of these organizations and across the globe. She has a wealth of experience. And so she goes in and digs deep into the issue or the root of the problem that they may be facing. Sometimes it has to do with organizational structure. And in these days, we have a lot going on around us. COVID has happened. A lot of issues are at hand. And so she is there to really hold their hand and help them through the process, come up with various ways of improvement. And so if they, as we said before, feel it in their heart and that they can take on, I guess, the world, so to speak, they can then, of course, help their employees under their lead.
There are situations where the service of HR, the office of HR is outsourced. It's not happening in my building, or I might just be a subsidiary of a larger operation where mine is just a branch thereof. How do we ensure that quality is consistent in every one of those offices?
Well, to be quite honest, Pearson, with regards to ensuring that quality is there, it goes back to the structures that Julie has put into place. And so with her experience, she's able to, of course, go to see in terms of different correlations across industries and stuff like that. She's able to help those practitioners then come up with different solutions.
Tanisa, not everyone is the same. And we all come from different places and experiences and cultures, and that's just it. So it's a melting pot of all of that in one space called the workplace. And so who are you to tell me that I must abide by your own norms and your own experiences? And so you get that kind of a pushback sometimes from an employee whose lived experience is so vastly different from the one that you want them to model. How do you, and how does the process at HR Heart Consulting, I'm getting it right now, how does that process respond to that individual who says, that's not the way I grew up?
Yes, and that's a very interesting conversation. And the reality is that you have to understand that going in. You need to understand going in that you're dealing with so many different personalities. And you have to be willing to hear these people when they tell you, this has been my experience. While you may not have walked in their shoes, you should be in a position to empathize with them. And this is where the learnings come from. In how do you approach these situations? Every situation is going to be unique. This is why you also need to involve your employees in the conversation about what is going to work. What can we all bring to the organization? Because it's a melting pot, you're going to require input from everybody to find a balance that's going to work for everybody. It's not going to be easy, and it's not going to be like that every single day of the week. But if everybody is committing to do the work, to put in what they need to have the difficult conversations, even though they are difficult, to root out the issues and find the best solutions, that's when you're going to make the progress. And this is why it's so important what we do at HR at Heart and with the Disrupt HR franchise, to bring that messaging out and to get people to start to shift their mindsets and their thought processes and want to do the work to build better working environments, to build better relationships at work, and to start that from the top and bring that down to every person in the organization.
I want to look at the cost of not doing that, because that's the opportunity cost that we also have to take into consideration. So talk to me a little bit more about when we don't approach this from that perspective, because simply we are thinking that it's too expensive to undertake. What's the loss?
The loss is that you end up now with an environment that is not healthy. So that's your opportunity cost. Do you want to then leave your organization to flounder, to suffer, your employees to be going through these challenges? It's going to affect your productivity. Once your productivity gets affected, it starts to affect your bottom line. And let's be honest, we're in business to be profitable. Profitability runs the business. It runs the ability to create employment. So all of it is tied together. It's one big ecosystem. So that's why it's so important to nurture every part of the ecosystem. And if you don't nurture your human resource base, how is your organization going to function? You are going to start to run into difficulties. So that's why you need to have the conversations and you need to get this going to ensure that you find that balance.
And you're nodding, Crystal Ann, because at Heart, HR at Heart Consulting Inc., let's talk a little bit about the process now, because I'm sensing that there's a business or an HR practitioner who's saying, I need your help. I really need your help, because what you're talking about sounds sensible, but it sounds as if it's something I need. What's the process of working with you and having you work it through with us? Crystal Ann?
Oh, Pearson, I couldn't hear at one moment.
I apologize.
So Yes, it was muted a bit for me. So sorry, I'm going to have to ask you to repeat that. I
Okay.
thought you were still speaking to Tanisha. Sorry.
That's okay. I wanted to hear from you. What's the process of engaging with you guys at HR at Heart Consulting Inc. to get your assistance? Because something tells me there's a business right now who is saying, I like what these ladies are talking about. I want a better workplace for all of my employees and myself. I want to see the bottom line, the benefits to the bottom line as well. How do we consult with you so that you help us achieve all of those things?
Okay, so you can, of course, find us on Instagram, HR at Heart, and it would be HR and then A Heart. There's also HR at heart.com. You can find us there, and you can fill out our forms and so on to let us know what you would like to chat about. And then, of course, Julie and ourselves on the team would lead you in the right direction, depending on what solutions you may need to encourage you to make sure that you make a better workplace for yourself. And we don't only cater to organizations, we also cater to entrepreneurs, because we know as entrepreneurs, sometimes you have a lot on your plate. And so you might need that coaching and that assistance to ensure that you are in a good position to work. And then you would be able to then have a good environment for persons when you become a small business, because, you know, as entrepreneurs, we are micro businesses. And as one person with all of that weight on our shoulders, as I mentioned, we sometimes need to get it out and speak to somebody that would kind of be a therapist, but also somebody that understands entrepreneurship as well. So you can find us there or on our website. The website would, of course, link you out to all of our emails. Julie is also very much on LinkedIn, and you can find her as Julie Turney on LinkedIn, and then she links out to HR at Heart as well. And you can, of course, find a wealth of information there. You can find persons that she would have helped, and so she's very well versed across various industries as well. And we actually have an event coming up called Disrupt HR that we will, of course, be able to have you to kind of get an understanding more of what HR at Heart helps you to do as well.
This is so vital and so critical, folks. We want to encourage all of you in the practice of human resource management or business in general, whether it's small, medium-sized or large, to really think carefully about how you can create that better work environment for all, and to reach out to HR at Heart Consulting. They will consult with you. They will help you work out those strategies to see how you can use your space, what you already have and what you may need to be able to achieve just what the goals are. Remember, it impacts the bottom line. And because it impacts the bottom line, it needs to be taken quite seriously. And so we want to encourage you to do so today. Ladies, thank you very much for joining us. Crystal Ann Downs, Marketing Manager, and Tanisha Scanterbury, the Operations Lead at HR at Heart Consulting Inc. I got it right at the end of it all, for joining us this morning. And I wish you only much success in this to see the change that we're all looking for. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having us. And we do want
Thank
to
you
thank
so much, Pearson.
Hermab as well.
Indeed.
Yes.
Thank you too.
Thank
We're taking
you.
a break here. We're coming back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about Solar Ray Microbiome Probiotics and why you should be taking them.
And we have well over 3,000 amazing products to help you get healthy.
For your health tips, tune in to CBC TV 8 every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday for Nature's Discount, sponsored by Get Healthy Incorporated.
Our world today is not the world God wants it to be. One of the reasons, which will surprise many, is that our planet, its governments, and its peoples are all living under the weight of Satan's rule. From the beginning of mankind's existence to today, human history is the written record of what it means to live under the rule of the devil. Yet that rule is coming to an end, and what a difference that will make.
Every Sunday at 9 a.m. on CBC TV 8, tune in for Tomorrow's World, sponsored by the Living Church of God.
Week after week, Scald presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations. lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scold is a window to everything that is there or is yet to come. Fly with us through time to better understand today and tomorrow. You've always wanted that. Scold, a look into the future.
CBC TV8, the home of championships, will be bringing live coverage of Gold Cup, NAPSAT and BSAT in the month of March. Packages are available for sponsorship now. Contact your CBC sales representative today or call 467-55.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
On our Wellness Wednesday, we continue to share with you ways to be a better you, to just find that space within that brings you contentment and peace, and to find those strategies that will help you cope as you go. Sometimes you have to pamper yourself, and not sometimes, you have to pamper yourself. And one man who believes in that is Steve Andrews. He's with Bamboo Retreat. Steve, good morning to you.
Good morning, Barbados. It's always a pleasure to be here, sharing ideas, concepts.
Yeah. And this is something you've been doing for a while, Steve.
Yes, March is a special month for me. 29 years ago, I call it my hustle, on March the 7th.
Yeah.
Business is a challenge. Everybody see business and everybody. But 29 years ago, we started, and unfortunately, we had to really restart it 6 years ago as the Bamboo Retreat. We started as Student Touch a Spa, and then we have to restart at Bamboo Retreat. But it really was challenges, but also have a lot of success as a part of those challenges. Being persons that want to learn, wants to develop, have forced us to do a lot of different things. I have the opportunity because when I started, there were not lots of places in Barbados that you find good quality training.
That's right.
So I had to be traveling the Caribbean, across the Caribbean, looking for training to upskill myself. Then I started outside of the Caribbean, North America. And it helps us to really open up our horizon. Being in the Caribbean working, we become a part of lots of different organizations. I joined the Caribbean Spa Wellness Association in 1996. 5 years later, I become the chair of that association. I then moved outside of the Caribbean. My first trip was in Africa, was 3 years ago. I'm back in Africa for the last 3 years doing training across the continent. I also sit on the Africa Wellness Initiative Committee, which is really helping to develop the wellness sector across the continent. And my role in the initiative is really as the trainer. So the role is to work with trainers across Africa to expand, to develop the training within the across the African continent. So it's a kind of exciting concept that we are working on at this stage in helping to build out, moving from Little Barbados, Africa, not just there, but working with the initiative to really help to build out the continent and build out training across the continent. I also do training here. Well, they keep saying I can't be all over the place, all over the world doing things I'm not doing at home. So we do also offer training here. In fact, we have a workshop in the next April 13 in St. George at the Bamboo Retreat. And it's really helping therapists to really help them to be the best that they can be. So it's really for trained therapists as well to maximize their potential, really helping them to develop that skill, not just to be normal, but also to be excellent at what they do. So it really was a wonderful 29 years journey that we have so far.
And I'm glad you characterized it as that, because we've come to know you so well because you took a different approach to how you do what you do in marketing yourself and the services that you rendered. And I think that is a lot of people sometimes can overlook, because time tends to erase a lot of the memory. But Steve Andrews started a movement in Barbados in massage therapy, and we congratulate you for that as well, because you believe in the benefits of massage therapy and you preached it.
Yeah, because and that's why I became a therapist, because I was saying when I was competing, I was a martial artist and I was competing for Barbados, and someone sent me for massage, and I thought it was the best thing that ever happened to me. And because of that, I understand the benefits, but then I want to learn more, and by learning I know what the benefits are, and I see the benefits every day from persons, because every day someone comes to me, and every day is like a challenge of how do you fix a person, how do you fix a problem. And it's shocking when you walk across this little island, there's so much person who walk up to you and say, hey, that problem is no longer there. Wow. Hey, that problem disappeared. Nice. That was a great job. I mean, it's a really, my job, I think I have the best job in the world. I always say that to person. I have the best job in the world. But the benefits of the job is when someone walk in and they have a problem and you can fix it. There's no money can compete with that. When you can fix a problem that people have gone to many different stages. They've gone from doctors, all of the different, what they want to call it, x-rays. They're doing all the different tests and can't find a problem. And the last option they have now is, let me try a massage. But let me try Steve massage, massage at the Bamboo Retreat. And then they say, wow, it works. I mean, I had a client and she walked in, and then she walked out and said, I'm not hurting anymore, because she come in walking at the side and she go back out walking out right. And it was like, and it's when you understand what you do, when you really, truly understand what you do, everything becomes very easy, everything becomes very simple in doing it.
And that's the ethos of Bamboo Retreat. That's the ethos of Steve Andrews. That's what you've been doing for 29 years consistently in bringing that kind of relief. And so you continue to do it now in the new location of Bamboo Retreat. You know, I always get it wrong. I say just past the glebe.
Well, it's up from the glebe. We are, and it's like 2 bus stops. I always say it's 2 bus stops out from the glebe.
Right.
When I say bus stop, people heard, like, oh, we can hear all these noise and buses and all of these passing up. But we have created a sanctuary. I mean, it's about creativity.
Yes.
It's how do you take a space and you enhance it to make what you're trying to do. So when you come in, it's like a garden. I mean, lots of trees, lots of everything. In fact, we have a tall tree in the middle of the spa when you walk in. So you have that natural energy coming out of that tree.
Yes.
You have that natural oasis. You have water features. So you're always hearing water within the space itself. In fact, when the wind blows through the trees, you think that rain is falling. So it's really that wonderful experience. And I'm just repeating what my clients saying when they're there. You walked in and you feel like you're not in Barbados. You walked in and you immediately become relaxed. You walked in and you forget the stress that you have from today. You walk in and all of these things happening to you just by walking in.
Yes.
So imagine when we start our services, then you get those kind of great experience from our services. And I'm very, very cautious and very, in terms of, I do not do something or I do not make anyone do something unless we understand it.
Yes.
So we don't do things unless we understand it, because I believe then someone take the money and they bring it to us. We must do the best that we possibly can, because money is hard. And when someone is willing to do that, so we have to do the best that we absolutely can. So that's what we work on.
And that's the care and commitment to all the customers of the Bamboo Retreat.
Every single one.
Every single one, every single time.
Yes.
And so it's a venue that, as we showed you in the video, that's suitable to small groups, and you can use the space for different activity as well. But massage is one of those critical services that every one of us.
We always talk about massage, but we do lots of other stuff. We have Day Spa do all the things that Day Spa does: massage, manicures, pedicures, facial, body wraps, body scrubs.
You know what? To know all of that, we go online and we check you out. Or we give you a call.
Yes.
What's the number again?
436-9405 233-3104. Those are our numbers. You can go to our Instagram page, Bamboo Retreat, our Facebook page, Bamboo Retreat, our website, bambooretreat.com. You will find us, just Bamboo Retreat. You will find us.
Just plug it in and check it out for yourself. We're crawling the information on our screen as well. So all of those things you think of as at a spa, you get at the Bamboo Retreat, not just the massage.
Not just the massage.
Not just
we talk massage all the time because it's my first love.
Yes,
so, and I understand when you have a first love, you always end up at that
point.
Space. Yeah.
Yes. Steve, thank you as always, and congratulations again to you and your staff for 29 years of excellent service to Barbados
and hard
and the
work.
world.
And hard work.
And hard work as
and
well.
Hard work.
Well, success requires hard work. You've done it very, very well. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome. We're taking a break here on Morning Barbados. We're coming back in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
CBC TV8, the home of championships, will be bringing live coverage of Gold Cup, NAPSAT, and BSAT in the month.
An hour of inspiration, celebration, soulful praise, and uplifting messages that will refresh your soul and fill your heart with joy. Q Gospel, Sunday at 4 p.m. on Quality 100.7 FM radio, bringing you closer to the music, the message, and the ministry. It's your Sunday moment of praise and purpose, where faith meets music. Q Gospel, Sunday at 4 p.m. on Q 100.7 FM.
Welcome to Nature.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Let's catch you up on the news now. Health officials remain concerned about the possibility of, a respiratory illness of unknown origin affecting several people across the Caribbean region. That's according to Executive Director of the Caribbean Public Health Agency, Dr. Lisa Indar. She says they are conducting tests to determine the etiology of the disease.
If you look at the news, they keep saying, well, this disease of unknown etiology. I think we have to keep testing to know, but the symptoms are upper respiratory types of symptoms. What we do encourage, like for other respiratory infections, you keep your distance, you cover your mouth, and things like that. And we keep testing. At the same time, especially in mass gathering events where spread can be fast, we want to ensure that, health and safety, and those are things that ministry and us are working towards. But as soon as we know, the region is going to know, and Barbados also have a very good laboratory to that is testing.
Well, Dr. Indar says they continue to work with ministries of health to reduce all types of infection. She says they'd have to do real-time surveillance, especially with the global resurgence of measles, other respiratory types of infections, and new variants of COVID-19. Dr. Indar says officials are also seeing a series of arboviral diseases like dengue on the rise.
Mass gatherings like the C4All that's happening at the LESC, or the conference that's coming up, the big annual health research conference, it means you have to look for anything that could be risky. What we have to do is put measures in place to look at symptoms and to do surveillance real time. So it means digitalized systems with alerts. And I am happy that Barbados is involved with CARFA doing that. Systems of not just digitalized surveillance, but confidential alerts that goes ministry, and they nip it in the bud.
A reduction in United States aid will not stop small island developing states from achieving their sustainable development goals. The declaration comes from Chief Executive Officer and Special Representative of the UN General Secretary General for Sustainable Energy for All and co-chair of UN Energy, Damilola Ogunbiyi. The United States administration announces eliminating more than 90% of U.S. aid's foreign aid contracts and $60 billion in overall U.S. assistance around the world. And Ms. Ogunbiyi says in the face of uncertainties, countries in the developing world must focus on restructuring and utilizing internally generated revenue to help support themselves. She was speaking during a press conference.
I think those are the conversations that are happening, and these conversations should have been happening, right? So what it's done is it spurred those conversations, but it's not, I don't think honestly that with what is happening, a few countries are going to hold the developing world hostage anymore, like everybody thinks everything is just going to collapse. Absolutely not, because a lot of investment has gone on in these different countries. Is it going to be more difficult? Yes, but again, it's a new way of working that we have to adapt to. I think at this point, I think it's important to also mention one of the bigger projects that are happening, which is Mission 300, which is to connect 300 million Africans by 2030. That isn't going to stop because of an announcement, because of one country. African countries are going to get together. Mia Motley is a huge supporter of.
Meanwhile, Minister of Energy and Business, Senator Lisa Cummins, says she's confident the Global South will rise to the occasion and find every opportunity to anchor its relationships around capacity building, research and development, innovation and financing.
I think when you find yourselves in spaces where you're uncertain about what is coming next and what is going to be your pathway forward, I think that's where you dig a little more deeply on the inside, and you start to look within and you start to figure out, what do I have that I can use, and who are my partners that also can match me where I am. And that's where the Global South comes in. This week here in Barbados, we have most of the development banks from the African region, the pension funds we've spoken about before. We have right here our own homegrown Caribbean Development Bank. We have the CAF team, the Latin America Development Bank, and they're all going to be here during the course of this week. That is what represents the Global South.
Economist Professor Winston Moore says the 2025 budgetary proposals and financial statement addresses a number of key points for the country. The deputy principal of the WA-Capel campus commends government for its commitment to the country's fiscal and debt management in relation to reducing the debt to GDP ratio.
That is one of those indicators that has a significant impact on investor confidence, and it sets Barbados on a long-term sustainable fiscal trajectory. So that is one of those key things that I wanted to flag. The second key area is in relation to the ease of doing business. I think The BERT program, as well as many of the last couple of budgets, have all focused on enhancing the ease of doing business. And this year was no different. We saw a number of reforms. First, I think probably the biggest one is in relation to Asikuda, which will significantly enhance and streamline the customs process, facilitate trade, and benefit both importers and exporters.
Also commenting on the budget was the Heart and Stroke Foundation of Barbados, which described the government's move to impose a 20% tax on snacks with high sugar salt content as a step in the right direction. Chief Executive Officer Greta Yearwood says this is government's way of showing its commitment to non-communicable diseases prevention.
Healthy foods were taxed, import duties and some of the popular fruits, and so we're also on VAT on some of the popular fruits will also go into effect. So HSFB and the coalition have been calling for some time now for a tax swap that seeks to make more healthier foods more affordable. So of course, we are quite pleased to hear that the trans fat ban is still on track to be implemented by the end of this year.
Opposition leader Ralph Thorne believes the Mill and Pave program is being done too hastily and is a waste of money. He says the surface utility lines are still to be done, and he believes the present work, especially on the South Coast, is being hurried with votes in mind. He expressed the view during his budget reply in Parliament yesterday.
All the utility lines are now fixed, presumably. But to tell the truth, they have not fixed the subsurface utility lines. And it is recognized by this government that the surfacing of some of the roads in this country is now going to be a waste of money because they have to dig up the roads that have been milled and paved. But of course, an election is coming. And if an election is coming, it is more important to waste some public funds to impress the electorate rather than to do things with financial prudence.
Back in the House of Assembly this morning, live from 9 o'clock. Barbados Pride now will be chasing their fourth consecutive victory on home soil when they take on Trinidad and Tobago's Red Force starting today at Kensington Oval. Ahead of the fifth round CWI 4-day championship match, the Pride were busy going through their paces, and Mark Goodrich-Boyce was at the Mecca.
The Barbados Pride squad remains unbeaten right here at Kensington Oval so far for this edition of the Cricket West Indies Regional 4-day competition. And there's no doubt that with the return of several West Indies Test players, they're bursting with confidence ahead of the ultimate test versus the Trinidad and Tobago Red Force. It promises to be a blockbuster match, featuring some of the best red ball players in the region on both sides. Barbados Pride will be boosted with the return of West Indies one-day international skipper Shea Hope, who's excited to be back playing in the longest format.
So this is just going to be another challenge for me leading into this 4-day game here. I'm definitely looking forward to it. I haven't played in a while. I'm not sure exactly how long I didn't play for. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Trinidad's been doing pretty well as well, so it's nice to see that Barbados and Trinidad, this is always a battle that we always look forward to. So it's a great one to come back and play my first game.
The Red Force team has been informed and are unbeaten headed into the fifth round, with the likes of Captain Josh Da Silva and Jason Mohammed impressing with the bat. But nevertheless, Da Silva's opposite number, Craig Brathwaite, is looking forward to the contest.
You know, the contest between Trinidad is always a good one. It's always one I thoroughly enjoy, and Trinidad have a good team, they play well, so we look forward to the challenge. Barbados has a rich tradition, of playing, red ball cricket, and it will always be there. Guys really love it. I mean, example is a lot of the guys coming back and wanting to play, and I think that's good for Barbados cricket.
Coach Vasbert Drake says it will take an all-round performance with bat and ball for Barbados to be victorious.
From a batting perspective, to ensure that you assess the conditions as quickly as possible, make sure that we have put a really good target on the board, and certainly from a bowling perspective, to ensure that we create enough pressure where we can create a lot of wicket-taking opportunities, and from a fielding perspective, make sure that we are dynamic in the field.
The first ball is set to be bowled at 10 a.m. Anmar Goodrich Boyce, CBC Sports.
Thank you, Anmar. We'll take a break here. Morning Barbados comes back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about Solaray microbiome probiotics and why you should be taking them.
And we have well over 3,000 amazing products to help you get healthy.
For your health tips, tune in to CBC TV 8 every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday for Nature's Discount, sponsored by Get Healthy Incorporated.
Our world today is not the world God wants it to be. One of the reasons which will surprise many is that our planet, its governments, and its peoples are all living under the weight of Satan's rule. From the beginning of mankind's existence to today, human history is the written record of what it means to live under the rule of the devil. Yet that rule is coming to an end, and what a difference that will make.
Every Sunday at 9 a.m. on CBC TV 8, tune in for Tomorrow's World, sponsored by the Living Church of God.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scold is a window to everything that is there or is yet to come. Fly with us through time to better understand today and tomorrow. You've always wanted that. Scold, a look into the future.
We enjoy a game with dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love cruise.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
Morning. Good morning to you.
The month of March is the month of the disabled, and I'm thrilled this morning to have join me 3 of the students of the National Technical Institute for the Deaf, which is the first and the largest technological college in the world for students who are deaf or hard of hearing. And I know sometimes when we say it like that, you wonder if we're just being derogatory. No, we're not. We refer to them now as being either deaf or hard of hearing. Joining us this morning along with their interpreter is Carson Stolzfuss. He's next to me. Next to him is Callie Ruggieri. And next to her is Sienna Jones. They're the students of the NTRI, and with them is, as you know, Abigail Murray, their interpreter. Welcome to Barbados.
Thank you.
How do I say you're welcome?
Right here.
I got that right. Not a sound made, but I got it right. I want to start with you, Carson. Talk to me a bit about what it means for you to be on this trip.
For me, really, this trip is important in order so that I can come and meet people who are deaf in Barbados and learn about Barbados deaf culture and show them about God and show that through who I am as a deaf person.
And Callie, being here, what did you know about Barbados before you arrived?
Honestly, I didn't know a lot about Barbados. I did know they had a deaf community here that's quite small, and I was wondering what their community looks like. And as I'm meeting people here, it's been a really interesting experience to see that.
And Siona, now that you are here, what have you been doing while you've been here?
So coming here to Barbados, we've been to the Irving Wilson School, and we met a lot of the deaf students there, which was really wonderful. And we've met people in the deaf community, and it's been wonderful to get to relate to them and learn about their culture and build relationships with them. It feels like we can encourage each other with love. So
That's beautiful. And so in terms of there is an international, I suppose, an international standard for sign for communication. Have you found any challenges, Siona, in being able to communicate with other people like yourself, deaf or hard of hearing?
In another country.
Mm-hmm.
So coming from America to Barbados, the language has been fairly similar with sign. It's really interesting to see what differences there are for sign choices. You have regional accents, so it's sort of neat to learn what they sign here, but that we can still understand each other. So that's been very interesting. There's a lot of commonalities. If you look at other countries, there's definitely different sign languages, and that's very cool to learn about.
And so, Kelly, I understand that part of what you're doing is engaging in community service. What have you been doing?
So we've gathered with the deaf community here in order to meet them and get to know them and talk about God. And then we also went to the Irving Wilson School to meet the deaf there, and we worked with them. We just had a gathering with them the other day. So,
and Carson, knowing that there is a school, a facility to include people who are deaf and hard of hearing, so that you have the same opportunities as other abled people, what does that mean to you?
Yeah, for me, it means everything. I mean, I certainly have had my fair share of judgment and being seen as different. And so that school has been very empowering to me in order to grow and to pursue things.
Callie, you talk a lot about God. And so it seems to me that the higher being is central to what you do at your school. Talk to me about why that is.
So we have a community within the school that focuses on God. But it welcomes anybody. It doesn't matter, what your beliefs are, but we want to share about Jesus to people who are deaf. And so that's what we talk about.
Siona, I want to look at inclusivity now, being included and not set apart. How important is that to you? And do you feel that generally people are more receptive to people who are deaf and hard of hearing and including them into everyday life?
When it comes to inclusivity with the deaf and hard of hearing, it really depends on the relationship. And when in the deaf community, we really bond together well because we have that commonality of being deaf, and so that makes it easy to have community there.
Carson, what do you look forward to telling your fellow students on your return from Barbados?
For me, there will be a lot to tell. Two main things I would want to share with them. That the deaf community here in Barbados, they're very unique and it's been very, and they're very chill as well. And so that's been neat. And then as well as the culture here, that would be the other thing. It's been interesting to see how we have American deaf culture and then the Barbados deaf culture, and to kind of see what's different and what's the same and still be able to connect and relate to people.
That's beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful. Callie, what about you? What would you tell your friends on your return from Barbados?
Well, so far this trip, I was certainly looking forward to visiting the Irving Wilson School and getting to talk to the kids. We did a painting activity together with them, and we had a time to talk with them and a signed conversation and just see the uniqueness of these kids in that school. So that was a wonderful experience I would share.
I saw Siona nodding. She was in complete agreement. And so, have you traveled to any other island or nation and to have that kind of cultural exchange?
Who are you asking?
Siona.
And asking if that experience, how that compares to this one.
Yes.
Well, my first time traveling is here in Barbados. Yeah. So this is my first time out of the country, is to Barbados. So it's been very exciting. First time out of the country, and to finally meet deaf community in another country and get to, talk with them and get to know their regional signs, and I'm so thankful for that, and getting to relate to them and how they welcomed us. So I'm so appreciative of that. I would look forward to visiting other countries and meeting other deaf people in other places as well, though.
Abigail, what I've found just listening and watching them is that my appreciation for people who are deaf and hard of hearing and their ability to communicate, unless you are with them, you don't quite get them. But I'm getting these 3 students. I'm understanding them, and it's not hard work. I see Siona say, yep, that's right. Simply because they are as able as any of us. Carson, do you feel different, or do people make you feel different?
I think it's a mix of both. Because I do understand my difference in that I am deaf. But at the same time, I think people do have a lesser expectation of me because I'm deaf. But deaf people can do things. We can, do anything that a hearing person can. So,
can you go to parties? Do you go to the disco? Who says yes? Yes, you, Callie.
Callie does, yeah. Was there a question in there?
Yep. Sound. As a deaf or hard of hearing person, do you get to enjoy the things that people of good hearing get to experience, like parties?
Oh yeah, really? Of course. We have a good time. Yeah, we can feel the beat and the vibrations of that. And then also someone with a cochlear implant uses that as a tool in order to, have some kind of environmental noise. But you could even take that off and feel the beat, and you would totally enjoy the party just the same.
Siona looks like a party girl. I was watching her. Am I right?
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
You folks are so fun. When do you leave?
This Saturday. We are planning to leave. Yeah, we will certainly miss it here, and we will be remembering your community with much love.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much, indeed. And thank you for coming. I like the fact that you are happy to share the news of Barbados and your experience in Barbados with your friends and relatives when on your return. And I'm only so excited. I just want to ask one more question of each of you. Carlos, what is it that you're studying? Are you doing a degree in something?
Yes. My degree, I have a double major in marketing and management information systems.
Well done. Callie, what about you?
currently I'm in a laboratory science tech program. And my goal long term is to become an occupational therapist.
Sienna, what about you?
My major is general business management, and in the future I would like to form my own business and be able to partner with other businesses as well.
You're welcome. Thank you all, each of you, thank you. This has been truly eye-opening for all of us, and I really want to commend you for staying strong and being true to who you are and not being afraid to say to the rest of the world, I am equal to all of you and nothing separates us. I can do just as you do too. And just listening to your degrees, you guys are brilliant. You're better than me, for sure. I wish you well with all of your future endeavors.
Thank you. Thank
You're welcome.
you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Abigail, as well, for sharing their story with me too. Boy, wasn't this fantastic, everyone? These are three brilliant young students traveled to Barbados to engage in community service and a cultural exchange. Everything they have to say has been quite inspiring. They are truly wonderful examples of what's possible, that there is no disability at all. Each of us just are different. We're just different. And so we have to respect that difference, acknowledge that difference, include that difference, because that difference makes us a better society. And so Morning Barbados comes right back right after this.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love crew.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
You know what?
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
God will not give you a job. God will not call you to do something and then not give you the capacity to have it, to make it happen. He will give you the resources, he'll give you the people. Not only will he equip you with ideas, but he will equip you with favor, as he did Nehemiah.
Turn on the latest episode of Infinite Possibilities, only on CBC TV8, every Sunday at 1:30 p.m., sponsored by Covenant Life Teaching Center.
An hour of inspiration, celebration, soulful praise, and uplifting messages that will refresh your soul and fill your heart with joy.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
She can sing. Monique McKay joins me right here on the set. Monique, good morning.
Good morning, Pearson, and good
Sing,
morning,
sing, sing,
Barbados.
sing, sing.
Good morning to you.
All right. There you go, indeed. And you know what? She gets it, because
I
we were
do.
talking with my crew, who are very disrespectful to me, don't you think? No words. All right.
I will not sow the root of
So I
dissension.
reminded them we need to start journaling our emotions, our reactions, those kinds of things. And I
like
was
that.
told that you like that.
I like that.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea as well. Not to let the time get away. Today we're talking about how to using the art of curating for a luxury space.
Yes.
And how to use furnishings to be able to do that.
Absolutely.
So talk to me, girl, because this can happen.
All right, this can definitely happen. So when we talk about luxury furnishings, we don't have to think super pricey. Luxury is also a feel. Luxury is a look. When you go into a store and we're going to buy a sofa, Yes, craftsmanship, material, longevity, but we don't usually walk into a furniture store and say, who's the craftsman?
Yes, yes, yes.
What is the base on this furniture? The main thing in layman's terms is longevity and comfort.
Yes.
That is a luxury piece. It could be $1,000. It could be $10,000, as we know in some of the stores. It's about the feel. It's about
not the cost.
It's not the cost. So we don't want luxury to put people in fear.
Right.
Luxury pieces also elevate a space. If this space was dark, but then you have it where you walk out in the morning and you're feeling excited, oh, maybe that's your luxury piece.
Right.
That is your piece that you're putting in your home. So when we do speak luxury, we're not saying an astronomical price where people can't afford. We want people to feel luxurious in their home.
So how do I feel luxurious with a basic piece? I call it basic.
Well, you don't make it basic. You surround it by things that personalize it to you.
Right.
So if you like collection spoons because your grandmother raised you and she said, these are quality pieces. Guess what? Maybe you'll put them in a beautiful arrangement on your coffee table around your ordinary piece that may be, you could have longevity in it, but you surround it by things that make it pierce.
Look at this monitor.
Okay.
This is interesting.
This is very interesting. So this is a dining room table, something that we actually have in stock. That could be a table, or if your foyer is huge, it could be an entry table.
But look at what you've done.
But look what you've done to it.
Yes.
You don't need a lot of pieces, but all of a sudden you're elevating the space by changing it from your dining room. Maybe you need a new dining room table. You could put that in a foyer.
I remember that key tray. I remember that. But that's
awesome
what's
piece.
possible. It is.
It's possible.
Very multi-purpose too.
It is.
And that's as simple as that.
As simple as that.
Little table, round table.
Correct.
Which is in a little corner.
Right.
And what I've done was add those other accents, the big on Givenchy and made a big difference.
The little pop of a plant.
Right. Yes.
The elevation.
Show us again if you can.
The height of the vase. This is a dining room table.
And there we go, yes.
If you want to switch it around and all of a sudden you're getting a new dining room table, put it in an entryway if your space allows.
Oh, that's right.
Right?
That's
now
beautiful.
you're saving. Now you're saving. And you've elevated. We've got a vase with some greenery.
Yes.
This is not expensive. This could be a vase that was in your backyard, in your patio, that you've repositioned and made it a good
that is
luxury.
I love it. And it blends beautifully into the backdrop as well, the background.
Correct.
And it's as simple as that.
It's as simple as that. And it's about making the piece your own. Now, they have a book here that may be somebody who's a fashion enthusiast.
Right.
You may have something that you read every day.
Let your personality show.
Let your personality show.
Right.
Because if your home is not your own, then whose is it?
Yes.
Now, as my Jamaican mother would say, know yourself.
I love it.
Know yourself. So put a book that you
Yeah.
read. So as you come in, you can quickly grab it. Things that are accessible to you. Another thing that you could do to make your space luxurious, put your hobby somewhere where people can see it.
What's your hobby?
Your hobby. If you like to play guitars, put it in your living room. Stand it up on something nice. All of a sudden, it's a talking piece. It's a show piece. It's yours. Your best friend who likes to collect spoons is not going to have a guitar.
Right.
Make it your own. Make it luxurious because it's what you love.
So you choose the space that you want to elevate.
Correct.
And then you begin to look at what you do have.
What you do have and what you love.
Yeah, that's the important thing.
That's
what you
the
love.
important piece. It will elevate your mood.
Yes.
It will elevate your conversations. Now you're talking to people in your home about things that are important to you. That in your spare time you enjoy.
Yes.
That's luxurious.
That is true.
That is
true.
luxurious.
Let's look at this one now.
Look at this. Now, this is a traditional home, and this was a hallway before. I mean, it was great in its time. It served a purpose. It had a shelf. It had a shelf that collects pictures. That's fine. But if you go to refresh your space, let's refresh it. Let's see what's possible in this beautiful Barbados traditional home.
And it's very typical, about what we do.
Thank you.
Yes.
Well,
this
is a different space. However, in this slideshow, we can see how you have not purchased a thing. And look how your space goes from every day, I don't have any time,
cluttered, to
something.
Spin again.
Spin it again. This is what we mostly go through. We are ripping and running. We have activities to drop the kids to. We have
space to drop this in.
Listen,
and so we dropped it all there.
Because we're, exactly.
And this one.
This was
I like at the top of the
well,
cabinet.
this was the old space in the traditional home. Barbadians are sitting on a valued commodity, which is their traditional homes. They're building homes and they're not like the traditional homes.
Yes.
These traditional homes have value.
Yes.
If we put some time, put some paint, put some energy into them, it's just a refreshed space that they're not building anymore. And I want everyone here who have inherited a traditional home, live in a traditional home, to understand this is elevating the space. This is a hallway. We haven't bought a couch. We haven't bought an expensive piece. And look at the elevation.
Wow.
You get up in the morning.
You're
going to feel
exactly.
You're skipping down the hall.
Yes. And this is fantastic. You open up the door and you're in.
You know yourself. Your history is in here. Your grandmother may have raised you here. You've now elevated her stuff. She's sitting somewhere happy with you.
Nice.
Happy with you.
And it's as simple as that, in a simple discussion with Monique and her team to refresh, to make this happen. Monique, this is great work.
This is what we do.
Yes.
As interior decorators, as stylists, as interior designers who we have on the team, we refresh beautiful Barbados traditional homes.
So not everything has to be big and lumpy?
Not everything has to be expensive.
So this is how we repurpose that area.
We refreshed it using exactly what was there.
Wow. Who would have thought?
Who would have thought on your busiest of days?
Yes. And so this is what Monique and her team can do for you as well. And it's as simple as a phone call away, right?
Simple as a phone call away.
233-6922. Got it, girl. Got it, indeed. Simple Simon made the appointment. 233-6922.
Okay.
233-6922. We can. It doesn't have to be big, lumpy pieces of furniture.
No.
Just small, intimate items.
Items
that you love.
Intimate ones, even ones that you don't see around.
Yes.
What we do, we carry pieces that are unusual, that we only bring in one or two of a kind. And that is to give those design enthusiasts a space that no one else has.
There you go. If you want that space that no one else has, Interior Avenue, Monique McKay is her name.
Absolutely.
She's a master stylist indeed, and she's fun. She's really fun. Give her a call, 233-6922.
Yes.
Indeed, and let her make it happen for you.
Absolutely.
All
Ooh,
right.
you're hired.
Good girl,
Come on,
good
you're
girl.
joining the team.
Matter fixed, matter solved. When I'm done here, I'm going up to Interior Avenue. Just kidding.
Absolutely. You are. I'm going to take you.
I like that. Thank you so much, Monique, as always.
Thank you
I'm
so
looking
much
forward
for
to our
having me.
next session.
Ooh, me
when
too.
we get a chance to take a look again at our spaces and
I
how we
think
can
we should.
really make them beautiful, comfortable, luxurious, and all the
Make it
rest
your
of it.
own.
Yeah,
Let's keep that
and make them your
mental
own.
health great. you
Indeed,
know.
indeed.
Yes.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
An hour of inspiration, celebration, soulful praise, and uplifting messages that will refresh your soul and fill your heart with joy. Q Gospel, Sunday at 4 p.m. on Quality 100.7 FM radio, bringing you closer to the music, the message, and the ministry. It's your Sunday moment of praise and purpose where faith meets music. Q Gospel, Sunday at 4 p.m. on Q 100.7 FM.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great...
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Can't wait to show you this now, folks. Listen, in 1955, Lillian and Linda were conjoined twins. Lillian and Linda were hooked up, chest to chest almost. And then history was created when there was surgery to split them apart. Basically, they were separated, but they've survived. And now they're continuing to tell their story, and we hear from NBC News on this one.
Oh gosh, half of the time we're together, we're laughing.
You might even say inseparable. Although 55 years ago, in a small Mississippi town called Indianola, the Matthews twins, Lillian and Linda, actually were inseparable when a young physician fresh out of medical school made a house call, expecting a routine childbirth with their mom.
She was in labor, and they couldn't figure out what was going on because my twin here said she kept coming out, and then she would go back in. Pull back in. Come out. And pull back in. And the doctor realized something was going on here.
That something turned out to be two baby girls connected from the sternum to the navel and sharing a liver. Nearly the exact same circumstances as twins just separated at Cook Children's Medical Center in January.
You have two babies on two separate beds.
The improbable story providing a spotlight for what's possible. As the women say, medical journals and doctors at the time pronounced them the first separated twins to survive and thrive after their surgery at a Memphis hospital.
How high were the odds that you two would be living here to have this conversation with me today?
Probably zero. Yeah, the odds of us surviving was, but we were separated at 5 weeks old. I thought it was 6. It was 5. Okay. At 5 weeks old, we were separated.
5.5.
5.5.
The banter.
And there's the other corner. Okay.
Indicative of a deep bond, best understood by those who share thoughts.
How often do you two finish each other's sentences?
A lot.
And often a comfortable grip.
What makes you want to grab each other's hands?
It's just natural. You know, we can be going through something and sometimes we just laughing and talking.
For the two teachers of 30 plus years who grew up with 9 other siblings, a father who was a pastor and principal, and a mother who fervently supported education, family was the backbone of everything, even as they were told they'd never be able to have kids.
How many kids and grandkids do you have?
Together we have 7 children and 16 grandchildren.
That even includes Lillian's great-grandchild, Kalani, part of a rich family tree stemming from these matriarchs.
Does that feel like a miracle to you?
Oh, of course it does. I mean, we're really walking testimonies.
A band of brothers, sisters, and cousins that could have been one more. But Lillian and Linda faced arguably their biggest hurdle decades ago, and they did so together.
She was pregnant, and I remember I just started feeling pain, and I started feeling just weird, just strange. And I told my husband, I said, "Doll having a miscarriage." And within 10 minutes, her husband called. She just had a miscarriage. And that was probably one of the toughest times, I think. That was one of the toughest, to feel her pain. And
the tears they've shared and the love and support they've shown makes these two sisters and their story truly one of one. A ray of light for those parents who might be wondering about the health of their own babies.
What does your story symbolize for those folks?
Hope. That could be our twins. We have that healthy set of twins, and they can survive.
That is such a beautiful story. A beautiful, beautiful story. The first conjoined twins to be separated and survived, the operation done in 1955. And so they continue to live their separate lives, but still a bond exists between both of them. You know, it's just beautiful. Really, really, really beautiful. So we celebrate their success and their story as well. Don't forget, March the 21st is Rock Your Socks Day. It's World Down Syndrome Day. And so the Barbados Down Syndrome Association is encouraging all of us as we lend our support of those who are Downs. And by rocking your socks, you're just expressing to the whole world that you stand with. You stand in solidarity, because as we've been talking about in this month and to others as well, there's no difference whatsoever. As a matter of fact, the fact that they have one extra chromosome makes them even more special than you or me. And so we want to encourage you to get out today and to get your socks, your multicolored socks. You can wear them as a pair, or you can mix match, just get, as the young people say, get funky with it. And do your thing, rock your socks. And as you do so, take your photographs, and we want to encourage you to send those photographs to us here at Mornin Barbados as well. You can send it by email, thank yous, or by WhatsApp to 228-5562, so we can share our support on Mornin Barbados to those who are rocking their socks as well. So get ready for that activity on the 21st of March. Today, we continue with this week of glaucoma, focus on glaucoma. There's a fair on at the National Disabilities Unit Health Fair. It's on the NDU in Collymore Rock. There's a lecture at 9 o'clock, a glaucoma lecture, and then screening starts at 10 until 3. It's absolutely free, and you should get to know the pressure in your eyes because it saves you. It saves your eyesight because there is the possibility of working with you, whether it's through laser surgery, eye drops, and the like. A healthy eating practice as well. So all of this is very, very important. And there are other ophthalmologists and optometrists around the island all week long who are offering the service absolutely free. It costs you nothing to know your pressure reading behind your eyes. We're taking a break. We're coming back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We enjoy a game with dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love crew.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
So good in a party yet. You know why?
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
God will not give you a job.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
I am still waiting on your answer to the riddle this morning. We asked you a very, very simple riddle, and I'm hoping you've been able to solve it. If you have been able to do so, time for you to give me a call. Come, get cracking, give me a call. The question is, why should a fisherman always be wealthy? Why should a fisherman always be wealthy? Call me right now and tell me your thoughts. Share them with me. Tell me why you think a fisherman should always be wealthy. There's a little trick to it. There's a little twist to it. So I want to hear how clever you truly are. 228-5562 or 228-5563. Why should a fisherman always be wealthy? Seriously, call me and let me know. 228-5562 or 228-5563. Put on your funny, crazy hat and let me hear how crazy or funny you can possibly be with your responses as well. Why should a fisherman always be wealthy? 228-5562 or 228-5563. So call me right now. Because someone just said to me, because Jesus fed the 5,000 with fish, that's why they're wealthy? Because Jesus bought the fish from them? That's what you're saying to me? Help me understand your working. In other words, no, Jesus didn't spend any money on those 5,000 to feed those 5,000. So wrong for you. But what is your answer? 228-5562 or 228-5563. It is simple, so don't make it complicated. It is really, think of the things that fishermen do. Let me see if I can give you a little bit of it. Think of the things that fishermen do. And then see if that can guide you to an answer. Why should a fisherman always be wealthy? Think of it, seriously. And then you let me know, 228-5562 or 228-5563. Also want to remind you, as I'm talking about World Glaucoma Week, that on Friday, you're being encouraged to, and we're all encouraged to wear green as much as we possibly. Let's go green in support of World Glaucoma Week and World Glaucoma Day. And you can decorate your space in green. You can show your support by wearing green. You can do all of those things. And you snap a picture of it and tag the World Barbados Glaucoma Week on Facebook or on Instagram, Barbados Glaucoma Week. One word, Barbados Glaucoma Week. Tag it in showing your support for glaucoma and glaucoma awareness. 228-5562 or 228-5563. You want another hint? What does a fisherman do when he goes out to sea? What does he do? What are the implements that he uses? 228-5562 or 228-5563. Good morning. Hello.
Good morning, Pearson.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks. And you?
I am doing well. Thank you for asking. Now, this is over a week that we have spoken. You know that?
Really? Yeah, most likely.
I know what?
When I was telling you about the things that were going on at Sheraton. Yeah.
That's what I was talking about. So listen up, though. What do you think the answer is?
Because there's always fish in the sea.
Because there's always fish in the sea. And have you ever heard of fishermen saying that they don't have enough money? They're not wealthy?
Yeah.
And because there are lots of fish in the sea, do you think they're telling you lies? Answer. So you see where I'm going, right?
Yes, please.
So in other words, what am I trying to tell you?
That my answer wrong?
That your answer is what?
My answer is wrong?
You got that right. Your answer is wrong. Thank you.
Yeah.
Have a good day. All right, good girl. Thank you. 228-5562, 228-5563. I like her workings, though. Her working wasn't bad, just as she was wrong. So 228-5562 or 228-5563. Why should a fisherman always be wealthy? Yes, there's a lot of fish in the sea, but why should they always be wealthy? Having fish in the sea doesn't bring wealth. It's what do you do when you're out to sea with those fish? What should he do? So, let's see. Estelita Pyle says a fisherman should be wealthy because Jesus walked on water and that was a blessing. Jesus walked on water and it was truly a miracle, but did it redound to the benefit of the fishermen? Think about it. Good morning. Hello. Hello, 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 hello.
Good morning, Pearson.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
You sound very chirpy this morning. You've had your breakfast, right?
Yeah, you know, I done have my breakfast at 6 o'clock and sit down watching you.
Bakes, fish cake?
No, I had some saltfish and plantain.
I know a saltfish had to be that, but that sounds so good. Frizzled saltfish?
Pardon me?
Frizzled saltfish?
Yeah, and I do it up with some onion, sweet pepper, and purple cabbage.
Behave yourself, girl. Stop. Take out the cabbage, but give me everything else. And so, how was the plantain done? Fried?
Yeah, I cook up. When I was frizzling out these saltfish, I had the plantain in the frying pan. I sent on.
Stop it, Ron. Stop it.
No.
No, I am stuck. And that's so filling. You couldn't believe it. Simple so, but could fill you.
Yes.
That's good food.
And then
That's
I had
good
my tossed salad to go with it. So, I proper.
You're going to mess up this taste with the salad. But anyway, that's just me.
No. You know I love my bush.
I know you do.
Rabbit.
So, Ron, tell me, why should a fisherman always be wealthy?
I believe it's got something to do with his net. He always on the net. When he go to fish, he just cast his net. So I think it's something to do with the net.
Something to do with the net, but that's not the answer, though.
Okay.
But good, though. Very good.
Yes,
Think about it, okay?
Yeah, good.
Good girl. She just dropped a hint to what your answer could possibly be. 228-5562 or 228-5563. Why should a fisherman always be wealthy? Ron's was so close. I will tell you, so close. And now you know there's a hint going on there. Patricia Ben said, fishermen should always be wealthy because they are surrounded by a boatload of money. So simple. Good morning. Hello.
Hello. Good morning.
Hi. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
You're welcome. Who am I speaking with?
This is Beverly.
Hi, Beverly. Beverly of St. James?
Yes, please.
See, remember you, Beverly?
Yes.
So, Beverly, let me hear you so I can tell you you're wrong.
Your previous caller gave me a clue.
Oh.
And it has to do with the net.
Uh-huh.
Net profit.
I don't understand you.
he always has net profit.
And?
Anybody who has the net profit has to have money.
Because you have net profit?
Mm-hmm.
Your profit could just be $1?
Mm-mm.
Yes?
But he got a lot of net profit.
What makes you so certain?
I don't know. You said it's what he does and what he uses. So that's why I think when you told that lady net was near, I thought of net profit.
So before that, what were you thinking?
I don't know. I couldn't get it figured out. But when she said net, and you said I'm going to give you a clue, and it has to do with what he does, I thought of net.
Beverly, somebody calling you.
Yes.
Beverly, you're absolutely right. Because all his business is net profit. Bev, sharp, man. That person said Beverly can hear you on the TV. Have a good morning, Bev. Thank you.
So then the old brain is still working.
Very good.
All right.
Very
Have
good.
a good day.
You too.
Be
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Kieran, good morning. His net profit worth? So to speak. I think you got it there too, Kieran, as well. Anyone else on social media got it? Let's see. Because I think nobody else. So well done, Beverly. You see, Beverly put you to shame. But Runs is the one who came very, very close. And so well done to you, Beverly, indeed. Folks, that's it for today. The time has really gone by. We thank you so much for joining us every morning, bright and early at 6 o'clock. I always encourage you to share the show. Do not keep this to yourself. Tell someone else about it. Our little crew also joins me in saying to you, thank you and have a good morning. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning.